What's the big difference? Matching law versus behavioral contrast. Matching law is the allocation of responses when numerous task options are available. It needs concurrent schedules of reinforcement for two or more behaviors. Psychologist Art J. Herrnstein theorized that choice can be understood and predicted by examining relative rates of reinforcement associated with each option given. He conceptualized the matching law with a study using pigeons. The pigeons could peck one of two response keys in an operant chamber, both on a BI reinforcement schedule. The two schedules were available at the same time and separate from one another. Herrnstein plotted the rates of behavior against the rates of reinforcement, and he found a positive relation between the two, resembling a correlation. Matching law is a big part of dog training. When faced with two possible behaviors, the animal will likely choose the one that has been rewarded more. Every time an unwanted behavior is reinforced, the strength of the unwanted behavior is reduced. And according to the matching law, every rewarded sit that is less than what is expected weakens the chance to get the behavior of an ideal sit. B1 and B2 are two different behaviors, and R1 and R2 are the corresponding reinforcement schedules for these behaviors. Billy is disruptive in the classroom. When Billy is disruptive, the teacher reprimands him every other time. However, when he is engaged in learning and raises his hand, the teacher calls on him once every 7 times. If attention is the reinforcer, Billy's disruptive behavior will occur more often than engaged learning behaviors. Now let's look at behavioral contrast. This is an increased response for more satisfactory rewards following exposure to less favored reinforcers. It can also be a decreased response for a less favorable reward following exposure to a satisfactory reinforcer. Behavioral contrast, introduced by George Reynolds, described the changing schedule requirements in one component may affect responding to another unaltered component. It is associated with multiple schedules of reinforcement, which can generally occur between separate settings. You can think of the scales of justice. The B on top represents the response rate for which the behavior has changed in different contexts. Billy is disruptive at home and in class. Billy's parents decide that being disruptive at home needs to be put on extinction. While this reduces disruptive behaviors at home, it increases disruptive behaviors at school. Billy is disruptive at home and school. His teacher starts sending him to timeout. While in timeout, his disruptive behaviors increase. His parents have not changed repercussions for his behavior at home. However, they believe he is being less disruptive at home. The difference between the two is that matching law requires concurrent schedules of reinforcement for two or more behaviors, while behavioral contrast involves two separate schedules of reinforcement across two separate environments for one behavior.